Chad Campbell is back for his second season as the head coach at Westfield after so many years at Peach County. Coach, I'm going to start this off with not a question, I guess, but a statement, and assume that compared to a year ago when you were just taking over a new program, this summer a lot more ease with the transition and everything's kind of falling into place a little bit easier. I mean, that's customary for a second year for a head coach, isn't it?
The transition's been really good. This year, familiarity has been the very, I think it's made the us knowing the kids and the kids knowing us and our expectations and every day. Um, it's been really good this off season. The year before, we didn't know anything about them. They didn't know anything about us. And then putting in new systems and on offense, defense, special teams, it was very new to them. And so, we did some things this spring and we talked about it as a staff, how much smoother and easier it was, So it's been very good in that aspect.
No, that's great. There's no question about it. Well, let's talk about your defense, which made improvement, Chad, from the year before for Westfield. You went down from 32 points per game allowed to around 26. So you saw improvement, but you've got 10 starters back on the defensive side of the ball. You're licking your chops for that kind of stat right there, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of our. You should be a strong point for us this year. Our defense, having so many kids back, and right now they're further along than offensively. So we got some good guys back on defense. We lost some middle linebacker was an all-state player and Dean Massey, but we've had some guys that we feel like we got some depth at that position this year, and but that we should have a good unit over there this year.
So with Massey gone, who can step up out of those 10? Who you counting on, the two or three maybe who can step up and be the heart and soul of the 2024 team?
Yeah, we have our will linebacker last year, Statue Reddick. He was a sophomore. He's a junior this year. We're trying to kind of slide him into that role, and he's the vocal leader of the defense, and he's a really good player. And we've got some different guys that's trying to man that will position, but we got a freshman in there who I think is going to be a really good player for us. And then we got a couple other guys that we feel like can provide some depth in that position. So, I like where we're at defensively.
And on the offensive side of the ball, there are some important skill players back. We'll talk about that with Coach Campbell about Westfield's 2024 season in our next report. Chad Campbell in his second season now at Westfield. The Hornets 5-6 last season. They had a first-round playoff loss to George Walton, but they're back with some very important skill players on the offense. Braden Gay, now a senior, threw for 1,975 yards, 17 touchdowns for you last year. Let's start with him. I know, look, you've got some issues up front. You've lost some offensive linemen from last year, but Chad, having that experience at quarterback, what is that going to mean for you?
Yes. It starts with him, and I'm glad to have him back. And he's continued to progress from where, he made I told him last year, that he came a long way from understanding, getting everything down offensively. And, he thought like he had a disappointing season, which he could be no further from the truth because he came a long way. And I put a lot at him last year that I've had quarterbacks in the past take a couple years to get the system, and he got it in a year, and I thought he made tremendous strides last year.
It's going to be so important for you. He's got a couple of good skill players behind him. Jackson Hare, running back, your leading rusher from a year ago back as a junior, and the two St. Clair boys, the two receivers, Jackson, who led you in receiving, and Stone, who's now a sophomore. Those guys also have to step up for you, don't they?
Yeah, we got our skill guys back. We lost a tight end, Trey Hardy, who did a really good job for us last year. We got all our skill back. We got our leading backs back. We got Jackson. We got Nick Free back, and then we got two other guys who we got a transfer and this year as a sophomore, I think is going to provide us another guy that can do some things dynamically with the ball in his hand, Drew Keller. And then we have Neil O'Brien, who run the ball some last year, but was mostly primarily defensively. So we got some guys who can carry the football, and we got some guys who can go get it up front. We've got Rigdon McCall is back for us off, offensive lineman, who's our bell cow up front. He's a really good player. And we got some young guys. Wilt Leonard's back. We may move him from center to another position just because of his experience and some of our inexperience with some young guys. But I'm very pleased from where our guys are right now. We got a long way to still go up front, but I'm pleased where we are up front.
I'm going to make an assumption here after knowing you for so many years that part of the speech you've been telling some of your players is, okay, the introduction are over, boys. We had 11 games last year. It's time to go. It's time to really take that next step. Am I right about that?
Yeah, there's no doubt. And they know they've heard it from me for a while now on what our expectations are as a football team and where I want to see us go. And I don't want us to be one year hit wonders. I want us to be a program that can sustain it over amount of time. And they know my expectations of what I expect out of them. And I think we've got a chance to have a good football team. And whether we want to take another step and go to another plateau is depending on how they work on the practice field every single day. So, but we're trying to get everything we can out of them. There's no doubt about it. And they're good. They're good young men, and they work hard. And we want to play a long season.
Can't wait to see how you do this year, Coach. Your first game is on the 16th of August against Brookwood. Coach, thank you. As always, we appreciate it. Good luck to you this year.
Well, always appreciate you having me on the show, Bill. You do a tremendous job with high school sports in the area, and we're just proud to be a part of it.
Thank you.